We hear that there have been very positive talks between Chelsea and Antonio Conte. He is apparently very keen to be the next Chelsea manager. What's your understanding of the situation?
You've heard more than I, because that's also your job. You're a journalist, and then you have to search around where the encounters are, where the rumors are. It's not my job is to do the next game, and I'm not involved in this. So that's all what you can get from me in this issue.
Well, do you think he would be a good fit?
Well, that's the second question, the same intention. Of course, this club is searching now, and yeah, experienced managers they like, and there are a lot. But that's all. It's up to them, and make up their mind and make their decisions.
What is the most difficult part of moving from, say, an international manager, which you have been, into club management?
There's a difference. There's a lot of difference, because when you are in a club, you have the daily influence as a manager on the way of playing, on the behavior on the pitch, on the behavior outside the pitch. So you have a lot of influence as a club manager on daily basis. When you are a national team manager, you have every now and then your players 3-4 days. You have a game, so that's more difficult to get it as you wish. The only exception is when you are going into a tournament. Then you have 3 weeks more or less to prepare the team as a club team. Then you have the bigger influence than you have on daily base in the club. That's the big difference, I think.
And what are the challenges that you face when going to a new country?
Yeah, that's always exciting. I have experienced always as very exciting to get as soon as possible into the culture of not the country, of course, but more the culture of the club. To go as soon as possible, although it might be briefly, to go in the language, and especially when it's a difficult language, go into a language where you have this, you can prepare that, your own football language, and it's not perfect, of course, but to go as soon as possible into the football culture of a club or a country.
Is a new appointment something that you would like to see tied up fairly quickly, everyone knows where they stand, or would it actually be a distraction to you and perhaps the players for the rest of the season?
I'm in favor, but it's personal opinion. When things are done, make it transparent.
So, are you expecting an announcement fairly soon?
That was the first question answered by another.
Is John Terry fit for this weekend's match against Southampton?
He will not be fit. He was in treatment, is still in treatment. Every now and then he goes in the gym. He's doing exercise in the gym. He's doing his exercises on the pitch, but not fit. You must be careful, or we want to be careful with him, not especially with him, but with this kind of injury. Because this injury, when you have something in a tendon or in a hamstring, then sometimes you think as a player or as a manager, he appears to be good. But you must be careful with those type of injuries, and I'm in favor to wait when everyone is saying, hey, he's okay, including the player himself, to wait 2-3 days more, because it's not good to go back in a setback situation as we have experienced with other players.
So would you think the next match?
This weekend not. We have Norwich on Tuesday, and we'll see whether he will be available and playing fit for Stoke on the next weekend.
Do you have any other concerns, any other injury problems?
Falcao, I think that's the only one at this moment.
Do you see Falcao playing at all this season?
He was on the pitch in the recent days. He's jogging around with the physios. I don't know, it's difficult. It's difficult for me to say. But there's still a long way to go to the end of the season. we'll see what will happen in the upcoming time. I cannot give any guarantees.
And how far away is Pato still?
Pato still. Pato is I think now in his to get the sharpness to be competitive also with the youngsters we have, because now we have 3 strikers available plus Falcao, who's injured. Diego is doing his job very well, and we are looking on the training pitch as well as in the games where they are coming in, and I'm rather satisfied. Although being a youngster with no big international name, I'm satisfied with the performance when he comes in the games with Traoré, and they have to compete for a position there, including Traoré as well.
Ronald Koeman, someone that you must know quite well. He was a player for you, wasn't he, at PSV,
yeah,
when you won the European Cup in '88?
'88.
Did you always have a feeling that he would go on to be a manager?
Yeah,
it's
easy to say now, but I don't have any doubt, because we at that time in '86 we tried to manage and to establish a team of players' personalities, good players of course, but also players' personalities, because I have always the opinion that a manager, once the game is going on, has a limited power. Of course, he can make changes during the game, but where I was looking always to a spine, I said it before here, a spine in the team, which can, what you prepared in training and in team meetings, which they can control the execution of your plan. And he was one of those guys in the spine who was one of the leaders. You could see, I don't know exactly how old he was at the time, let's say mid-20s. You could see and you could talk with him about what has to be executed on the pitch. So you could notice already on that young age that he would have the possibility to go into a manager's business.
What have you made of what he's done at Southampton?
Yeah, last year he did a terrific job. This year they started well. They had a little bit setback. The club was very, very stable when they had a difficult period, but they regained their confidence in the recent game. You have seen, I don't know exactly the statistics, but they have a clean sheet already 6 or 8 games. So it's up to us to try to annoy them.
Do you sense that actually he has what it takes to be a manager of a top club?
Well, he has been around. He has been in Holland around with the clubs. He has been in south of Europe, been around. Not that long, but I think lately, but lately is not today, some years already, he is showing being a very, very good and a very stable manager. So then, and he has the age. So you never know how a career can go, but he's showing stability.
Victory for Chelsea could see you in the top half of the table. It would be the first time since you've been at the club. In fact, the first time I think since August that Chelsea would be in the top 10.
That would be nice, but it will be a very difficult game regarding what I just said. Getting them out of their comfort zone regarding their clean sheet. Yeah.
Listen, finally, can I ask you about FIFA? Obviously, the election is going on at the moment for the president. What do you hope will come out of today as far as FIFA is concerned, moving forwards?
I have not looked with a lot of interest to all the candidates who are coming up, because there's a lot of politics going on always. But what I hope, whoever comes out, that there will be huge transparency. I think that's important for the many people who worldwide love this game, that there is transparency to the highest level.
So do you welcome the package of reforms that has already been passed?
Yeah, but if it's based on transparency, then I'm in favor.
Given Southampton's resurgent form recently, do you think this is going to be one of the toughest tests for Chelsea of 2016?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. The way they can maintain their clean sheet, but also the way they can play and surprise an opponent. They have a mix of young players, some young players, but they have also some players who know the game, and that make them very dangerous. It will be for Chelsea, I think, now a big test to where they are in Premier League.
You mentioned earlier when asked about Ronald Koeman and him playing with you about being a great leader. Do you think that all great leaders on the pitch make great managers? It's not all of them?
Not all. Because I've been in a federation, and there I have dealt with my people in the federation with players who stopped their career, big players, and some, I'm not talking about Ronald, let's be very clear. Some they thought that they can be manager well or just having the experience of a big career. And we started with some coaches there, and after 3-4 months of course of education, they said, "Oh, there are a lot of other things I need to in my how shall I say, in my backpack to have the tools to be a good manager." And once they make that step, then the experience they have gathered as a international big player, yeah, then they have an advantage.
So what do you think makes that X factor, and is that something that you can identify quite quickly as someone?
Well, the main problem of huge players is that they have sometimes problems to put themselves in the mind, as far as possible, of players who are maybe of a less quality that they have showed in their career. And if they are not able to transfer themselves a bit in, let's say, good players but lesser quality of them, then they might have a little bit of a problem. So they must step out of their being a big star and going into the demanding, leading, supporting way of getting the best out of a player and out of a team.
Finally from me, do you feel like you've got that sort of Ronald Koeman character in this Chelsea squad?
Yeah, of course. Terry has proven it already many years. And I must say, Branislav Ivanovic is doing the same. Already many years in this club, also a leader. So this club has also.
Okay, let's go back row and left, yes.
Can I just ask you how important you think it is for all the English sides to go far in Europe this season to maintain the 4 places in the Champions League next season?
Yeah, I think it's always, although the Premier League got a huge attention, I think it's always very important to go in Europe and as far as possible and to maintain the positions as well. It's very important. It's, of course, we have a lot of attention and worldwide attention on the Premier League, which is nice. But we have to go into Europe as well, if not you're getting isolated.
And Claude in the middle.
Since John Terry's injury, Bavaraman is playing. What do you make of his performances?
Well, I've seen him in training before we made the reshuffle in defense, and you could see that he has quality. From nature, he can play. He knows how to play when he's on the ball, and of course we are working also to get him even more competitive in the position. So he did so far with little things we have to improve with him, but he did so far okay.
But when John Terry will come back, he's going to go back on the bench?
We'll see. We'll see. We need a lot of players, including him, including John, when we are going into now 3 days game